Till date, Indian pilots operating in the region hold several world records in flying these helicopters in these areas. For soldiers on the Siachen front, helicopters are the difference between life and death. At the height of winter, jerry cans of kerosene to light heaters are what keep soldiers alive. Food, once stocked, is not a problem, but kerosene needs to be constantly replenished, and in summer months, this becomes particularly difficult. As the temperature rises in these extreme high altitude areas, there is a proportionate decrease in the ability of helicopters to lift weight. In other words, the hotter it gets, the less the cheetah can carry. On occasion, all a cheetah can ferry is a single jerry can of kerosene. But if kerosene heats jawans in sub-zero temperatures, their hearts and minds are also critical, and letters flown in by helicopter crews keep the men going, morale boosters in a war zone where every little bit counts.
This machine is designed for altitude of maximum 23,000, whereas in actuals this machine has already flown for quite many years, but we are landing at 22,000, 21,000 or in that region of helipads, which is at its level of or the edge of its function. That is the reason it is difficult. The clouds, the snow-covered area makes it more difficult in whiteout conditions to fly. I still remember an incident where a JCO had blown off his land because of the enemy shelling. And the weather was bad, and it was totally whiteout conditions. And the two helicopters from the flight took off. And I still feel good about the fact that we made use of the snow scooters. Those two snow scooters were the only black spots which were available to us to guide us into the helipad. We picked up the JCO, and the taking off in the reciprocal direction to get out of the valley was also done with the help of snow scooters. And further we took off and moved out, and I today feel happy that the JCO survived.
You had some foreigners, you had some French pilots and some American pilots who'd come here also, and they've never seen flying like this. They've never seen it at all, have they?
In fact, they were amazed that we were flying at that altitude, and they were definitely amazed at the technique which we adopted to carry out landings at 18,000 plus, or maybe in the regions of 20,000, on 6 feet by 6 feet of a platform.
This is the Siachen base camp. It is from here that patrols to the higher posts are organized. The camp itself is on relatively flat terrain, but the soldiers who move up the glacier and the Saltoro Ridge to its side know the dangers ahead. Crevices on the glacier's floor of ice are certain death, as are avalanches, an unexpected but constant threat. Which is where dogs, like Birla, fit in. Don't let his looks deceive. This is not your friendly pet Labrador retriever. He's a Sena Medal winner, an award he picked up after discovering 10 bodies under an avalanche in the Dras sector of North Kashmir.
Next.
And this is his buddy, 4-year-old Babu, another decorated dog in the army, the winner of the Chief of Army Staff's commendation card, which he received after detecting 2 bodies under an avalanche, also in Dras. Over here on the Siachen front, the soldiers know that if they are trapped under an avalanche, Birla and Babu are the difference between life and death.
ये avalanche rescue dog है, बहुत बढ़िया काम करता है. जहाँ पे avalanche के अंदर में कोई भी casualty होता है, वहाँ पे हम dog को imply करते हैं. Imply करने के बाद हमारा dog जो है उस जगह पे इंडिकेशन खुदाई करके करता है. फिर हम रेस्क्यू पार्टी को बुलाते हैं.
But the glacier is unrelenting. Dog teams can only reach so far. In the upper reaches, the men are on their own. Avalanche rescues are difficult to organize and take time to be in position. At these altitudes, every second is a lifetime for soldiers who are trapped. In fact, according to some estimates, of the more than 2,000 Indian soldiers who've been killed here, almost all have died because of the extreme conditions. The roots of the Siachen conflict lies in the map of North Ladakh being non-demarcated beyond a point called NJ 9842. The 1949 Karachi Agreement and the 1972 Simla Agreement presumed that it was simply not possible for any human habitation to survive north of this point. Before 1984, neither India nor Pakistan had any permanent presence in the area. In the 70s and early 80s, Pakistan allowed several mountaineering expeditions into the area, a move India saw as Islamabad reinforcing its claim to the zone. Pakistan claims the line of control at NJ 9842 extends eastwards to the Karakoram Pass. India says it goes northwards. On the 13th of April 1984, the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force went into the glacier after India launched Operation Meghdoot. Pakistan quickly moved in with its own troop deployment in the area. The Indian Army presently controls the Siachen Glacier and has the tactical high ground along the Saltoro Range to the west of the glacier. India controls the Bilafond La Pass, the Sia La Pass, the Gyong La Pass, and has positions stretching all the way to Indira Col in the north.
In 78, while we were planning this expedition, two Germans had come, were drafted down with me in Indus in 75, and they wanted to go to Siachen Glacier. They asked the government did not allow them because it's a very sensitive area. So I was quite surprised when I went in 78, I found these three guys there. They got permission from the Pakistani side and they were camping there. And also when 78 expedition, I found a lot of material which was left by foreign expeditions. There was a bucket also with the marking of Pakistan, made in Pakistan. There are German cheese stains. There was, of course, there was a ski stick from Switzerland. There was many other Japanese articles were there. And I brought those articles and gave it to the army headquarters. And it was confirmed that they are sending expeditions into that area. In 81, I was about to go to the army. I had 6 months left to be my annual leave, my leave pending retirement and furlough which we get. And I thought that I must go right to the top of Siachen Glacier. And we went on this expedition. And that's where we climbed all these high passes. Every time we went, every stage, the Pakistanis came and flew over us. And just to perhaps to tease us or make aware that they are aware of our activities, they left a smoked, colored smoke there. And they used to take turn right above us, and go back. And we were unarmed, and we were pretty scared in the first expedition which we went.